Hey everybody, and welcome to or back to my channel, My Kind of Stuff. And today I want to talk about the seasonal challenge from Goodreads. So if you guys didn't know, Goodreads started doing reading challenges, kind of like Kindle does, where every few months they have a set of challenges for you to try new books and get outside your comfort zone and whatnot. And I've been trying to do them now every round. So this last round went from May through June, and I did manage to collect all of the badges. So I just kind of wanted to go through, talk about them, um, talk about how easy they were to complete or how hard they were to complete. Also, talk about what books I read for the challenges themselves. I kind of struggled this round. I wasn't sure that I was going to get a couple. I really had to squeeze some books in at the end. But I did manage to finish it. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys and we can hop in. All right. So, challenge details. This was called the Seasonal Challenge. It ran from May through June. There were 7 achievements to complete. The first one is called Page Turner. And basically, for this one, you just had to finish 2 books during the challenge, which I was obviously able to complete. Then we had Speed Reader, which was to finish 3 books during the challenge. We also had Book Boss, which was to finish 4 books during the challenge. And those were all relatively easy. Then we got into Centennial Picks. There was a list of popular books from the last 100 years, and you had to pick from those. Again, I really like when Goodreads does these because they give you a whole lot of options to pick from. Um, some of these I'd already read. All Quiet on the Western Front, I read that a very, very long time ago. Brave New World is another one that I read a really long time ago. This was probably pre me realizing Goodreads existed, so they weren't rated, but Brave New World is one of my favorites. Um, so I wanted to like try and find something new, but that I was still interested in. The Stranger is another one of my favorites that I've read quite a while ago. Obviously, 1984, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, The Catcher in the Rye, Fahrenheit 451. These are all things that I read in school. I thought about reading The Fellowship of the Ring, but I don't know if I will like the series, so I've been kind of avoiding it, but I do own them all on my Kindle, so at some point I might be brave enough to read those. The Haunting of Hill House I'd already read. To Kill a Mockingbird I've already read. Catch 22. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Dune is another series that like I'm interested but also kind of scared by. Um, I thought about reading The Exorcist. That was definitely one I had my eye on, as well as The Princess Bride. But I love the movie so much that I feel like this could disappoint me a little. Um, so I kind of was putting that off too. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I've already read. The book I ended up picking was The Shining by Stephen King. I'd obviously like seen the movie, but I had never read it. And I'm also interested in reading Doctor Sleep. So that was the one I picked for this challenge. But again, like a lot of very popular older books on this list, and I think there's a good enough mix. There's something for everybody. Like even The Hunger Games, that's super popular right now. I bet that is one a lot of people read because of the what is it called? Sunrise on the Reaping or whatever the new book is called. I know a lot of people were going back and rereading through The Hunger Games right now. So people may have hit that challenge and not even realized it. So that is it for those. Then we go to Heritage Reads. And this was achieved by completing one of the titles by an AAPI and Asian author. Again, a really good mix of books to pick from in here. Um, I'm really interested in reading Julie Chan is Dead. Immaculate Conception, another one I really want to read. Bat Eater and Other Names, Blob. There's just a lot of them in here that I'm interested in. Water Moon. I don't know what Time Loops and Meet Cutes are, but I like the cover. I think it's adorable. Spiral looks really cute. The Blanket Cats. I don't know what that is, but the Vera Wong series. The Eyes Are the Best Part. That one was great. Five Broken Blades. I know this one really had a moment. Mystery of the Ministry of Time. The Teller of Small Fortunes. There are just a lot of options on here that I've been seeing all over the Bookternet. So again, this was a really easy one to pick from because there were so many options. I actually ended up reading The Return of Ellie Black by Emiko Jean. Yeah, I ended up really liking this one. It's one that I had had on my radar for quite some time, and I'd heard a couple other booktubers talk about it recently, so I was really interested to like dive into that one right away. But like there's just such a good selection in these challenges that I really love how easy it is. You can really push yourself and get outside of your comfort zone, or you can read within a genre you already read, and there's tons of options so you're not like forced to read something you're not really interested in. Um yeah, like this just keeps going. This list is so long. But yeah, that was a really fun challenge and got me to read a book that I had been putting off for a while. The next badge was Armchair Explorer, and this was reading one of the exploratory titles. Another challenge where we get a lot of options. The Sirens, Falling. I know a lot of people have read that. I've been seeing the Sky Daddy book everywhere. I don't really know fully what it's about, but I keep seeing it all over. One Last Stop. Teller of Small Fortunes again. I actually ended up reading Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. I had also read Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. Into the Drowning Deep, another really popular one. There was a lot of good horror picks on here. I loved Camp Damascus and You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight. I have had Heads Will Roll and Cuckoo on my list for a long time as well. So those would have been good options too. I did not read them, but I wanted to. Of course, as always, got to squeeze a little Frida McFadden on here. Moon of the Crusted Snow, which I had actually read a few months prior. Cold Eternity by S.A. Barnes, another one that I read during this challenge. This one I just like naturally read a bunch from, not even intentionally. Also, the When the Reckoning Comes by Latanya McQueen. That's another one that I read during it accidentally. So I feel like a lot of times if you're reading new releases, you hit these goals regardless. And then the last challenge was Rainbow Reads. So that was reading one of the LGBTQ plus books. another one where there was a lot of options. We have romance and horror and everything in between. Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I really, really want to get to, and I think it works for one of the challenges for the next round, which is July through mid September, I believe. So I will be getting to that book sometime in the next couple months. Hunger Stone's another one I was really interested in. Depending on how much time I have too when I'm doing these challenges, I like to try to pick things that I wasn't going to read previously. It kind of just depends on what I have going on at the time. If I have time to squeeze on an extra book or so in my TBR. Last month, my TBR game was super mean to me, so I didn't have a lot of extra time. Um, I love the covers on all of these. They're fantastic. Half of them I haven't even heard of either. So, like, this one can really get you out of that comfort zone. I really want to read Under the Same Stars. I didn't even realize that one was LGBTQ plus, but that is one I would like to read sometime. What I ended up reading was How to Survive a Slasher by Justine Cello Winans. I don't know. I just butchered that name. But actually ended up liking it. It wasn't an all-time favorite, but I think it was cute and it was goofy and it didn't take itself too seriously, which is what a YA slasher should be. Um, so I had fun with it. And that is it for the seasonal challenges that ran May through June. Of course, we have a brand new set of challenges now for summer. So we have the summer challenges. Again, we always have like this page turner, speed reader, and boss books, which is just always reading like 2, 3, and 5 books during the challenge. I have been on vacation the past week, so I that's why I have read 5 books already because I've been reading like a book a day while sitting around relaxing. So that's been nice to get caught up. Um, I also ended up doing 2 challenges with 1 book accidentally, so that hey, whatever, I did it. Um, so we'll go over these more next time we do one of these Goodreads challenges videos, in the middle of September because it runs through September 14th. All right, guys, that is it for today's video. Let me know down in the comments below if you are doing these Goodread challenges. If you didn't even know they existed, or if you did and you just don't care. I just like using them as just a fun little challenge to myself, but also to get out of my comfort zone or read things that I didn't previously have on my radar. A lot of times I find things that I've never even heard of before. So I think they're a great way to expand your reading. And I also appreciate that Goodreads put so much variety in the mix. So there's something for everybody on these lists. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future content. Give the video a thumbs up on your way out, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.